From Dolphin Oval, it's the major semi-final of the Queensland Cup for 2002, Redcliffe versus Ipswich. Hello, I'm Warren Boland. Welcome to what should be a tremendous match between the tough Ipswich side and the sometimes spectacular Redcliffe side, the minor premiers. Let's take a look at last week's results first of all as the finals got underway. In the elimination semi-final, Norths knocked out Burleigh 42-20 down at Pizzey Park. A big win by Norths there. And in the qualifying semi-final, Ipswich defeated East Coast Tigers 28-22. That was at Langlands Park. So Ipswich went through to today's major semi. East now meet North in the elimination final also this afternoon. But here at Dolphin Oval, look, this promises to be a real tough game, doesn't it, David?
Should be a beauty, Warren. What semi-final football should be all about. These are the two best defensive sides in the competition. It often happens that that stat brings them to the major semi-final, so it will be a very tough game. If you draw some broad comparisons between the two sides, very experienced, tough forwards, plenty of creativity in the halves, good kicking game, but perhaps where there is a distinction, as I see it, is in the outside backs. I think Redcliffe might just have the edge there, and that's probably reflected in the attack record. Redcliffe have got the best attack in the comp, but interestingly enough, Ipswich only the 7th best defence. You have a look at the two squads. This is as strong as they can put on the park. This is about the same size they had at the start of the year. No excuses, Warren.
Not at all, David. Now, Gavin Payne, Redcliffe, not only this year but in previous years, a very good record in finals.
That's right, Warren. Redcliffe entered their 7th final series in as many seasons today. Having played in 5 of the previous 6 Queensland Cup Grand Finals and winning 2, they are the competition's most successful side. Their worst place finish being 3rd in 1998. With that type of record, player stability is usually the key. This side, however, has only 7 players backing up from last year's Grand Final squad. Will they be the first team into the Grand Final this year? Stay tuned.
Well, there's the scene on the hill at Dolphin Oval, the Tosser-Turner Hill, and it's well crowded with Redcliffe fans predominantly, but I'm sure there'll be plenty supporting Ipswich here because this is really the best ever season for Ipswich in the Queensland Cup. They've had a tremendous run under coach Gary Grinke this year, and here they are in the major semi. The winner today goes through to the grand final. What an opportunity is for both the Jets and for the home side, the Dolphins.
As Gavin Payne said, Redcliffe have been a fixture in the final series in the Queensland Cup, but that hasn't been the case for Ipswich. And here the Redcliffe Dolphins at their home ground.
Led out by the experienced Luke Scott, their captain and second rower. There he is in very good form, consistently good, year in, year out, Luke Scott. He's got the experience under his belt, he's got the ability, and he's got one very good side to lead. In the backs, there's pace to burn and skill. Trent Lease at fullback, 3/4 of Phil Shilvock, Damien Richters, Brian Jellick, and Aaron Barber comes back in on the wing. The try-scoring phenomenon, Barber. The halves are Perry and Roberts, and the forward pack are equally strong with the front row there of Lindsay and Laif. In between them, Berrigan, Scott, Burke, and Fluggy making up the back rows. And look at the bench, some size there too, in Adam Starr and Shane Tronk, along with Wynyard and Stagg. Coached by Neil Ward. He's got it in Dogue now. Dogue has it. Lindsay tries to stab. Second kick, he's soccering his way through, almost went all the way, but Redcliffe have dived on it.
It's great defence from Redcliffe. They had to pull out all stops. Everyone fresh at this stage of the game, so sharp in attack Ipswich, although just a little bit disappointing with some lack of, I thought, creativity. Couple of half chances and Redcliffe are up to the task.
Gavin, looked as if there was a little bit of hesitation in the early tackle from Ipswich down there.
Yeah, there's just a knock-on here from Redcliffe, a forward pass, I should say. They did take nothing away from Redcliffe defence. They really got up hard off the line, obviously. If they were caught a little bit wide, they did sprint in hard in cover defence also, so take nothing away from Redcliffe. Probably caused a bit of hesitation in the Ipswich attacking line. Just looking at Ricky Bird, he doesn't appear to be 100% to me. He looks like he's struggling a little bit with legs or the like. He's just not as sharp as what we normally see. Maybe he's got heavy legs at the start of the game.
He's had some trouble, Gav, hasn't he, with some knee injuries during the season. I know he packs it in ice after a game. Ricky Bird tries to step again. Good strong work from the lock forward in Fluggy to come out of the scrum and really hit Ricky Bird hard. Danny McAllister to settle one. Again, the Redcliffe defence rushing up. They'll know they've got to withstand this assault. Bird up there to Anthony Seabold, pops it out the back door. Picked up there by Farron Anderson. He almost gets through, calls his way up to the 10-metre line.
Bird will be first receiver on the left. No, he cuts him out up there to Andrew Hamilton. Second play up to Marshall Chalk. Well read there by Michael Roberts with the assistance of Luke Scott. Out of dummy half goes Hamilton. He can create something. Decides to keep it going on the outside to Seabold. Dummies one. Fires it out there to Farron Anderson. One-on-one. Tries to get around the opposite number in Shilbach, but he hasn't been able to. Or has he? I think it's going to be a try. What a fantastic effort there from Farron Anderson. One-on-one there with, I think it was Shilbach. He had a lot of work to do. Not a lot of room to do it in. And he snuck over in the corner.
Well, an amazing one-on-one try scored by Anderson as Hamilton went across field looking for a runner back on the inside. No one there. Keeps it going instead to Seabold. He showed it on the inside to one of his teammates, but then it was one-on-one. Winger on winger. Farron Anderson looked like he'd been put over the sideline by Shilbach, but somehow fought his way over the line. Kept that ball up off the ground long enough to plant it over the line and not have it counted as a tackle. So Farron Anderson, the try scorer.
This will be a good angle, this one, Warren. Have a look at here. Hamilton goes wide. Now, Seabold dummies on the inside. He always wanted to go wide. Creates the one-on-one. Farron Anderson seemed to be covered by Shilbach. And with a desperate lunge, even though he was close to the line, that's a fair try. Good judgment.
Chance for Aaron Barber. He could get to this. He has. Aaron Barber, a try out of absolutely nothing. The bomb went straight up in the air. Nobody went for it. Half-heartedly, they gave the pass out to Barber and said, try your luck, and he did.
Well done, Aaron Barber. He might have a bung shoulder, but he didn't have to worry about it there. Beautiful work. The high kick from Roberts. No one wanted to have a go. Have a look at Roberts. He even dropped his head. Then he realised no one else was going to go for it. So he thought, well, I'll get in there and half contest. And then this batting action there from big star up to Barber. We've seen him score a couple of tries like this. The little grubber off the left foot, loops around all of them, uses that exhilarating pace to get to it first. And Redcliffe, well, they've basically done only one thing that is good in this match so far, and that's it. And they may well be able to claim 6 points apiece.
The ineffectual bomb was the key to it, because that's dragged the Ipswich fullback, Marshall Chalk, forward. And he's one of the players who allowed it to bounce and then was out of play when Farron Anderson puts the kick through. There's no one back.
Yeah, it's a wonder Ipswich really brought themselves undone there. They're the ones who've got to contest those high balls. You can't afford to let that bounce. All right for Redcliffe to hold back a bit and hope for a mistake, but the defensive side can't. And Ipswich have paid the price.
Now Damien Richters, who has been piling on the points this season, leading point scorer in the competition, 9 tries and 96 goals, 228 points. He's got to slice this one with the breeze, back from left to right. Fairly wide. He's given it every chance. The wind won't take it. Well, he would have felt he'd had that right on line, I reckon. But nevertheless, Redcliffe are back in business, trailing Ipswich by 6 points to 4.
Yeah, look, the Redcliffe kicking games let him down until this last one here from Aaron Barber. He knows the way to the try line, the little fella. He just pops it round the corner, has too much pace on the outside of the Ipswich centres and wingers, and just gets there with a metre to spare. He's an excitement machine. He scores them from anywhere. He can score them anyhow. He's what the game's all about.
Try number 26 for Aaron Barber. Already it looks a good decision to have played him after all. Because if he is carrying a shoulder injury and Redcliffe happened to win, well, Aaron Barber had come out in the grand final without, what, 2 months of football, David?
Yes, he wouldn't have had a lot of football up his sleeve. The winner of this game going into the grand final right here on this ground in 2 weeks' time. Redcliffe have coughed up another one. Unbelievable. And again, they're just offering up opportunity after opportunity to the Jets. They've only been able to take one of those to date, and this man was the one who took it.
Yeah, that was a big tackle by Anthony Seabold. He put Grant Fluggy on his back, and on the way the ball was spilled out.
They run a very flat line of attack, Ipswich, and they're going to get another penalty. And I reckon you'd take 2 points here. Pretty easy kick, 6-4, and they will.
Don't slow it down, Adam.
Hamilton deciding that 2 points will do him here to get a double point score on Redcliffe. And Ricky Bird, who converted the try from the right-hand touchline in tricky wind conditions, would be feeling pretty confident about knocking this one over.
Well, the pattern is repeating. Redcliffe lose the ball early in the tackle count and then within 1 or 2 tackles give away a penalty, which often is the case. You try and make up for your error, but you overplay it.
Yes, they're right on the back foot, Redcliffe, have been for the whole match, basically. They got a last try against the run of play, and they'll be extremely grateful for that.
Penalties now 3-1 in favour of Ipswich. Ricky Bird right in front of the posts, 20 metres out. Will repack the mound.
I don't think you repack those plastic tees on this day.
I'll look a little closer next time.
Yeah, the new technology's everywhere.
Still right into the breeze. Ipswich know that they'll have that in the second half. So Bird, this penalty kick, has he dragged it? He has. Oh, the shocker from Ricky Bird. Too easy for him, that one.
Yeah, that could be costly at the end of the day. Didn't hit it well at all, and Redcliffe try a very quick drop out. Oh, he's let it go through. What a result for Redcliffe. What a result. Loose head and feed, no matter what. Doesn't matter whether he touched it or whether he didn't touch it. Great kick there from Shane Perry. He was shooting for the touchline. The rule states that from any start of play such as that, the onus is on the receiving side to keep the ball in the field of play. And Redcliffe have switched roles immediately to get perhaps the first chance in the match to put an attack on inside the 20, and they can do it as well, if not better than Red.
Amazing that Perry was up there to the 20 so quickly. Surely they would have expected Bird to kick that goal, but instead they were thinking ahead, ready to race up to the 20 and ambush the Jets. It worked for them. Here go the Dolphins now. Richters has to pull it in from behind. Not a good pass. They're 20 metres out. They keep it going the same way. Through the hands. Lease on the burst. Thundering onto the ball there. Good work.
Intercept. Ricky Bird intercepts.
Well, it comes to nothing again within 2 tackles.
Man down for Ipswich after that surging run by Lease. Here it is again. Nice work there from Ricky Bird. He was in there getting in the road and managed to just put a hand out and grab that pass. Really, they've been their own worst enemies, Gav, Redcliffe, haven't they?
Look, Dave, they're cutting their own throat at the moment. It's a very similar to performance to the last time we saw them down here up at Langlands Park. I think they just coughed up ball the whole first half. They don't want to give too much more to Ipswich, or they'll take advantage shortly.
Ricky Bird now against the wind, as we've said. Knocks it down into the pocket. Lease picks it up. And again, Redcliffe now to get it out of their own territory. Let's see if, for the first time in the match, they can work it out of here, use all their tackles available, and get a good kick on the end.
It'll be new territory if they do. Luke Scott motors ahead.
Really, Warren, Redcliffe really haven't had a chance to, they haven't given themselves a chance to build a game. Perry from inside the 40 might get it if he gets a good bounce. It goes away from the touchline.
Chalk picks it up close to his own line. Stepped past Perry, but good work on the inside there from Jellick. Knocked him over.
Completion rates will be interesting. 4 from 9. That's a measly 4 from 9. And 13 from Ipswich. A perfect record.
As Michael Jack tears upfield, he's slippery.
On that basis, Warren, 6-4 on the scoreboard. Redcliffe would be wrapped in that. They haven't played football yet, and they're only 2 points behind.
So, turns it away to Hamilton. Hamilton takes them on this time, doesn't worry about slipping a pass as he can do. He's over the halfway. Now Matthew. McAllister had support coming up the middle, but took the tackle. It is the 5th. Bird puts it high into the wind again. Will Lease take this safely? Almost picked out of his arms by Bird, but Lease is away. He can run. Finds Roberts. Roberts steps inside Chalk. Still going Roberts. Couldn't quite link up with Lease, who was on his right, but it's still there for the Dolphins. Richters needs to pass. Got a pass.
Outside was the pass, all right, Warren.
He had Jellick and Barber waiting 2-on-1. Penalty goes against Lindsay.
You have to think Redcliffe, with their firepower now, will be able to build an attack from here. They're just showing how dangerous they can be when they get their act into gear.
And Redcliffe are really trying to quicken the pace of their game as the big men get involved. Adam Starr, 10 metres out. Berrigan through the hands of Lindsay to Burke. Berrigan back inside to Burke, and there's the runner. It's Scott. Smart little play, not quite timed. Almost caught them napping. Berrigan has a go himself, just a metre out. Terry calls for it. Lindsay inside. The ball's on the ground and the Jets have got it again.
Oops, punch up on the ground too in back play. A little bit of feeling, but again, Redcliffe coughing up a ball. The defence from Ipswich again applied that pressure though. There was no saloon passage there. As Allwood gets almost to the, or I should say Bulow, almost to the 20. Now up to the 30.
The Dolphins just can't get to that last tackle, can they?
No. Yeah, no, they certainly can't, guys. It's really intense. I mean, you've got to put a huge amount down the Redcliffe pressure there. Ipswich pressure they're putting on the Redcliffe attacking team as they go downfield.
Lindsay's kicking game has been very steady. They have put it down the throat of Lease, but on occasions he's been under pressure. At least they're getting the kicks away.
Yeah, that wasn't one of his better ones, and it'll allow Redcliffe to put a bit of an attack on again if they can hold the football, that is.
As Richters takes it to halfway.
Out of dummy half, Berrigan up there to Jellick, spins out of one. The defence just comes across to wrap him up. Doesn't give him a look at daylight to fire it up there to Barber. Now the big man in start. Roberts, Perry, lets Wynyard go. Fires it out there to Damien Richters. Tries to step a couple. That's the fifth and last. To Perry, the high ball, cross field, bit of pressure. Ipswich are going to have a go at this time. Jack up beautifully, Michael Jack. That's more how to defuse the bomb. And the Ipswich again playing the game. And I think it's still almost a perfect game from Ipswich. I don't think they made an error yet. A beautiful take here from Jack. Good body position too, turning to the side, then eventually backwards to protect the ball. Is Ipswich still no errors? I think that's just about the case for them.
The tackle count's still 2-1, 115 to 62.
He's lost it this time though. And now Redcliffe. The first time they've got a crumb off the table. Luke Scott goes forward, almost to the 20. Berrigan got Perry coming left to right. Perry's got the big man in Troy Lindsay, straightening the attack. To Perry, dummies on the inside to Roberts. Got a couple of plays in motion. Wynyard, but that was well read by Ipswich. Two players to him. Going to go down. Going to come open to Perry. Perry's going to have to go himself. Didn't have a lot of support there. Kept it alive nicely though. Up to Troy Lindsay. He lost the plot there for a moment. Complained about the high tackle from Jamie Matthew. Roberts, little grubber into the in-goal area. Wants it to sit, and Chalk will have to knock it dead.
Roberts with a dangerous grubber into the in-goal, but he also had the option of passing because Redcliffe had the overlap out wide and some space. The Jets' defence was very thin on that far side.
The best little kick that they've put in to date, the Redcliffe Dolphins. As everyone takes a breath, I think the commentators included, it's a very fast-paced game. It's quite warm out there too, so with all that defence that Redcliffe are doing, it makes it even more meritorious that the score is only 6-4 against them, and may well tell, though, later in the game, come late that second half.
Redcliffe have had it all over the Jets through the history of the Queensland Cup. 11 wins to just 1 by the Jets.
Looks like we've got a compulsory drink stop here now, which is interesting. 1 minute compulsory drink stop as we get into the hotter weather. So the referee said we're going to have a break. There's the track record for this year. These two sides, Redcliffe have won both, but not a lot in it. And there's not a lot in this match either.
I know the weather's warming up. I didn't think it was that hot,
no.
Particularly here on the Bayside. They were heading towards 30 degrees out at Ipswich today.
Yeah, they must have set the rules by the 1st of September, maybe the start of spring, the end of winter. But we've now got the drink stop, and this has been very handy for Ipswich.
It has been, and I'd certainly take Gavin's point that on a warmish day and at this pace, later in the second half, the teams could show wear and tear.
Redcliffe actually said they didn't want it, and referee Adam Neal said, well, you're going to have it anyway.
So Troy Lindsay brings the dropout back. More pressure for Ipswich now as Redcliffe start to get their game together after a horror start. Starr running off Roberts. Takes 3 to try and muscle him to ground. Berrigan, a dummy half. Roberts outside him. Quickly on to Wynyard, straightening up. And David Stagg coming through on the inside of him. On the 20, Roberts switches direction to Perry. Doesn't seem to have that many runners out there. Not a lot happening for him as Luke Scott takes them on. But only 5 metres out. Perry dummy half. Comes right again. They don't have the numbers there. He must be backing Jellick to take them on. Ipswich seem to have it well covered. 5th tackle. Barber kicks for himself and is picked up there by Chalk. Can he get out, though? That's the question. No. Jellick and Barber stop him in the in-goal. Marshall Chalk, the fullback, trapped there. So at times, Redcliffe looked a little lost, but they've got another dropout out of it.
Yeah, back-to-back dropouts. So they're looking to finally apply some consistent pressure to the Jets.
Some strange options, though, David, the direction they were going.
Yeah, I thought there was some good chances out wide on the left, and when they went left, they turned it back on the inside, and then, as you say, Warren, a switch of play then brought it back to the right, and they kept coming right. Let's see now, though, if it's just a matter of attrition, as big Shane Tronk gets it up almost to the 20. Roberts, that star on the outside of him. Got beautiful support play as well, as David Stagg loops in, so bench players coming to play. Here's a chance on the left. Roberts can't go through. I still think they're better to try and get it down that corridor on that far left-hand side. Now they come back to the right through Perry. Turns it back on the inside to Tronk. Plenty of defenders there, but he's going to go close to the line and just driven back. Still a chance, I think, right on that fringe on the left. Oh, terrible play, the ball that didn't allow the dummy half any chance to clear. Tronk at dummy half now. Up to Perry. They do like to come right. Little grubber again. Will this be their third in-goal kick? It is. So this will really build some pressure on the Ipswich Jets. They'll need another drink stop.
Well, it makes that first drink break so important, doesn't it, David? I mean, 3 times in a row, you wouldn't back Ipswich to be able to hold out, but with that one drinks break, it allowed them to recover somewhat. But on that left-hand side, you've got Ricky Bird defending, one in from the wing, and there is space out there. They've got some wide-open spaces either side of Ricky Bird. It looks to me an obvious target for Redcliffe.
Yeah, I don't think they've used that corridor at all, that 10 metres from that touchline. Oh, they're flirting with danger on those short passes.
Shane Tronk running with a heavily bandaged left leg, doesn't look all that free in his movement. Here's Roberts, who has looked dangerous, to Adam Starr. You've got Starr and Tronk, two of the biggest men in the Queensland Cup on the field together right now for Redcliffe. Roberts, outside him is Wynyard, keeps it going. Perry with options there. Oh, the pass goes to ground. He could have turned it to 3 different players with half a chance. Instead, ball on the deck over the sideline, but is it off Redcliffe?
I think it was. Redcliffe had the week off last week. And they came off a loss to Burleigh in the last round of fixtures, and they look rusty to me. 1 week shouldn't make a big difference, but
second round locks are in before the ball
haven't
comes.
executed as well, and they've had to resort to the in-goal on a number of occasions, and that's got to be a credit to the Jets' defence, and they'll take pleasure now in getting what was the leather, now the synthetic, in their hands.
So Ipswich moving it wide, and they do have an overlap here. He doesn't give it to Michael Jack. Instead, Richard Orwood goes himself. May have been worth giving Jack half a chance to take on Barber. Had a little bit of room to move. Now, Kerry Furcock from the bench crosses the halfway. Hot dog at dummy half. Gets it through the hands of Troy. It's Chris Anderson. Chris Anderson's out there now as well. But the ball's been put on the deck. Redcliffe have it. So a couple of errors creeping in now into the Ipswich game.
Oh, so is it Redcliffe. They just can't believe how badly they're playing, Redcliffe. And they still can't believe they're only trailing 6-4.
Well, the referee, Adam Neal, has to do the sprinting. He's got to get from one 10-metre line to the other and back again.
I don't feel sorry for him. Chris Anderson, what an effort by him. He was injured. He actually had a broken bone in his hand only about 4 weeks ago. So a great effort to be back here playing this afternoon as Danny Coburn gets it up almost to the 30. Out of the dummy half goes Michael Jack. This guy can run. Lindsay drops into dummy half. He's always a good reader of the play. Lindsay up to Ricky Bird. Got Hamilton coming back on the inside. Hamilton with that strong running action. Can't burst through the line though. Up to Bird again. He's been everywhere. Ricky Bird. Little grubber kick and picked up there by, I think, Schilbach, who came across nicely to swoop on that and diffuse the pressure situation.
You can make the point again that Ipswich have had a few opportunities down this end. They've been down to the Redcliffe 20, only come up with 1 try. They did take a shot at penalty goal, which missed, but just 6 points for all the possession and those opportunities down inside the Redcliffe 20.
Yes, I wonder why they haven't got more on the board. The breeze hasn't been at their back, so they'll be hoping that that helps them in the second half. Big man Adam Starr up the middle, up over the halfway. Beautiful weaving run by the big man. You normally see the little guys running at angles like that on the to the ground. Perry, here's a good chance, fires it out of there to Jellick. Little bit of room to move, cuts back on the inside to Roberts. Nice defence. Roberts flicks it up to anyone. Finds Wynyard. Wynyard looks for support. Been knocked down. Picked up. That's offside. Not a lot in that, you know. Hamilton seemed to angle it back.
The tap, David.
He's standing in front of you and he's picked it up. He's
Let's
offside.
have a look at it. Hamilton knocks it back. Well, there's no way he's offside. That's a wrong decision. He's knocked the ball back. You cannot be offside when you go back to pick it up. Anyway, it all happens pretty quick. The refs decided that it was an offside play. All happening at 100 mile an hour. The reality was it wasn't offside, and Redcliffe are going to take 2.
Yeah, it did seem Hamilton was very angry at the ref's decision, and looking at the replay, it did look as if it went back. I will say, though, that it was a tremendous rolling burst there from Redcliffe. The passes were flying. It was a beautiful ball from Perry out to Brian Jellick. At that point, it looked like it was try time.
Yep, and as you mentioned earlier, Warren, the big men for Redcliffe on now too, and big Adam Starr up the middle there to breach them initially.
It's Adam and Goliath when Starr and Tromp run the ball. There's a few smaller players for Ipswich trying to make the tackle, and they look like kids at their knees.
Yep.
It's interesting, guys. The Redcliffe crowd are just itching to get into this game. They're waiting for something to cheer. They make a couple of breaks and they're really into it. You know, a bit more continuity of football from Redcliffe and a bit more enterprising play, and the Redcliffe crowd could just about lift them to another level.
Damien Richter's right in front. Redcliffe will be glad to level it up. I think they feel that they've got out of it pretty lightly if they can keep it at 6-all at half-time. Mind you, they're into the wind in the second half. There it is, 2 more points to the Dolphins. 6-all after 34 minutes. And as much as Andrew Hamilton might be disappointed with that decision, the penalty against Redcliffe, against Ipswich, I reckon they got it pretty lightly in so much as Redcliffe were going to score. They were on their way to a try, not far away.
Yeah, they certainly had a roll going. We mentioned at the start of the game, these are the 2 best defensive sides in the competition. And I guess that's one of the reasons that we've still only got a 6-all scoreline here at the moment. The defence from both sides has been called on from time to time to be desperate. And why wouldn't it be in a major semi-final when you want to get the roll straight into the grand final?
Shane Tronk runs off Trent Lees, bringing the kick back. And now it's the turn of the other giant, Adam Starr. Gets it to the 30. Scott, no mistakes so far. 3 forwards hitting it up safely and kicking on the 4th tackle. Berrigan from dummy half, putting it deep. Smart play. Back goes Marshall Chalk to his own line. Good kick by Barry Berrigan out of dummy half. And that forces Ipswich to bring it out from their own 10-metre. All the forwards still getting back on side. And this is good work from Farron Anderson coming across field to get involved in the play to help out. Come from that far wing. Now Bulow. Just outside the 20 after a few tackles though. Hamilton. So he can sneak up the blind side.
He's in trouble, Andrew Hamilton. It was a heavy knock. They seem to come in around about at the thigh level, so I didn't think there was anything high in it. He's corked the thigh.
This would be a real blow to Ipswich if he's badly hurt. He is their key playmaker.
Got time out, mate. When you're
Much
ready.
as you might say that Lindsay and Bird, the half and 5'8", would do that job, I really think it's Hamilton who's the creative force around the ruck. Looks okay.
And he's a power player too, and you need to be able to contest Redcliffe in the power game. Matthew. No doubt these days, these sides play very flat attacks. Kerry Thurkoff, nothing too fancy. That is the 5th and last. So the kick will be from outside the 40, but against the breeze, yeah, just be happy just to knock it down. And it's going to go... no, it's going to be held, picked up in the end goal area by Lease. Blistering pace to get out of that corner. Isn't that lovely to watch when the speedsters, Gav, have to call on that pace, and they've got it in reserve.
Yeah, but what a beautiful tackle as well from Danny Coburn. He had him across field. He got another injury. He had him across field. He gave him the outside. He just dragged him down by a fingernail. It's good football all round.
Some stinging defence. Jamie Matthew stung Phil Schilbach in that particular follow-up tackle. Beautiful pass up into Luke Scott. Tries to get his hamstring, does so. Puts it up there to Berrigan. Aaron Barber's trying to get with him. Berrigan a grubber kick. Beautiful cover here from Farron Anderson, though. From the far wing. Had no right really to be there. Read the situation coming down the right-hand side and came from the far side to help out.
Did he need to kick it, Dave? I thought Barber was looming up on the inside beautifully. Could have just passed the ball up to him.
Yeah, I think you're right, Gav. I think Barber was trying to, having a little bit of difficulty getting in a position, but he's so quick that he got there, even though Berrigan, I thought, wasn't believing he could find a pass with him. And perhaps the premature kick just wasn't the right option at that stage.
Berrigan may have just lost him as he switched from the outside to the inside there, Barber. As Lease juggles and holds on, Lindsay gets him by arm.
That could be a turning point in the game. I think it's the first time Redcliffe have juggled and re-held the ball.
Russell Layev gets into stride. Ricky Bird climbs off him. Tronk. Well tackled by Hamilton. Hamilton's obviously okay.
Very important couple of minutes after half-time. Berrigan again.
30 metres out. We've got another query over a tackle count a couple of moments back, and Ipswich were in possession during that passage where Hamilton was injured. Lease gets a pass. It's intercepted by Michael Jack. Shut the gate. Nobody within QE. He will walk in for the try. The closest is the referee. Michael Jack trots in for an important try for Ipswich. What a bonus try just before half-time that is. They have been down there but unable to get more than the one try out of it until now on an intercept.
Yeah, Redcliffe are going to set up for this pet play. A lot of sides have got it now. You let one go, then let another one go here. Boom. They had about 3 players on the outside. They created the 3-on-1, but instead Michael Jack, realising just how much trouble he was in terms of being outnumbered, thought, well, there's only one number that counts, and that's the football, and he read it beautifully. The play had pretty well worked for Redcliffe, but Jack, to his credit, had read it to perfection. The pass was meant for Jellick. They had players everywhere, Redcliffe, and Michael Jack read that play beautifully. Their second man play, Redcliffe's, was infield to hold the defence, and then they had heaps of attackers on this outside, and beautifully read there from Michael Jack and Ipswich. Well, I think they'll breathe a sigh of relief there. They have been the dominant side in the first half, and they finally got some bonus points on the board to reward them for what has been, when I say a dominant performance, they've certainly statistically dominated the game. I don't think they've ever really got on top of Redcliffe at any stage.
It's strange in some ways. In the last 10 minutes, Redcliffe have looked very dangerous, looked as if they could score on a number of occasions. That wasn't to be. If you look over the full 40 minutes, you'd say that Ipswich have been the better side, and this is going to be a truer reflection of the way the half has been played. Ricky Bird taking a long time to complete the conversion. He has missed one from right in front. Ipswich already making their way to the sideline to get off the field and get in the coach's hands. And did that blow off, or did Ricky kick it off?
I was going to say, is that counted as a kick? Backheeled it.
Yeah, this new technology doesn't work too well, does it?
You want a bit of blue tack on that, I think.
Get some sand out there. Redcliffe standing behind the post. Shell-shocked still, I'm sure, by their first half performance. They started woefully by their standards. Bird, and he had the extras. Yes, he can. And Ipswich go in at half-time with a handy lead. They will have the wind in the second half, and they are leading the minor premiers 12 points to 6.
Original 60s Brit girl, white negress, gay icon, diva.
It just was smoking. It was sexy.
An intimate portrait of the shy girl who became a superstar, the sensational and immortal Dusty Springfield.
I had very great self-doubt, but that sometimes makes a great artist.
Fabulous Women, 9:30 tonight on ABC. Jamie's having a crisis of conscience.
What on earth did you think you were doing? Don't you have any self-control?
I'm sorry.
Caitlin's crisis involves her career.
What if people think that, I don't know, that I'm looking for another job?
That's what you want them to think, isn't it?
And for Happy, it's a crisis of the colon.
What are these?
Colonoscopy photographs.
Oh, yuck.
It's understandable to be totally repulsed.
Real Australian drama, MDA, 9:30 Tuesday.
Tired of ads interrupting your footy? ABC Local Radio, 100% footy.
Get ready to giggle.
Oh, come on, behave yourself.
Get ready to jiggle.
Chilling stuff, isn't it, people?
Here comes Thursday's Comedy Feast.
Let it rock.
At 8:30, Billy heads to southern England.
The Pilgrim Fathers, Walter Raleigh, Francis Drake, they all hung out here.
And reveals the pitfalls of cuddling.
And this arm's fine, it goes over here. But this is a real problem.
Then brace yourself.
Can I hear it for the West End's massive?
For an Ali G onslaught at 9.
Speak to the arms because the face ain't listening.
I think you're doing pretty well.
Realize.
And finish the feast with Backburner.
So come on, the party's back on. I salute you, Sherlock. For your remote to work, your television is never really completely off, but in standby mode, like council workers.
TV so funny, no one dares miss it.
Oh my goodness, no!
The Thursday Comedy Feast from 8:30 on ABC.
We expect a very tough and competitive semi-final, and Gav, that's pretty much what we've got.
Oh yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see two top teams really going, ripping out into each other. Us old footballers, mate, it's got the adrenaline pumping.
Yeah, it's been a good feeling about it. But Ipswich was the side that really got the upper hand, mainly because they were playing well, number one, and you've got to do that. But Redcliffe in the first, 30-odd minutes, they could hardly do a thing right. And Ipswich, who put enormous amount of pressure on about the first 10 minutes of the match, mainly deep inside Redcliffe territory, finally got the try they were desperately seeking. And it was a good effort too. Two good back rowers in Hamilton, searches on the outside, Seabold goes across, dummies one under there, Bulow, pops it out there to Farron Anderson, puts a winger one-on-one, and he does extremely well from 8 metres out, one-on-one, with about 2 metres to work in.
Yeah, look, take nothing away from Hamilton here. He's going across field shopping. It's a one-on-one situation right across the park. There's 3 Ipswich, there's 3 Redcliffe defenders there. That little shimmy there just pulled up Shulvok, just stopped him in his tracks, just stopped him from sliding out and getting a good hit on. It was an ineffective tackle in the end, but still a very good grasping tackle. And Farron Anderson does very well just to get to the corner. Here we see it again. Just drifts across, just stops him there, and away he goes, just gets to the outside. Shulvok does the best he can. He needed a bit of help, just couldn't get there, and that's a try.
Yeah, great try that from Farron Anderson. Let's have a look at stats from the first half, and I'd say Redcliffe won't want to have a look at them. They'd have nightmares over what basically has been a game riddled with errors by them.
Yeah, look, in own half 50% of the time, both. That surprises me. The completion rate's probably the big one there in the tackles. 13 from 22 will not be what Coach Wharton's looking for. And 146 tackles they've had to complete in that first half. Probably about 5 or 6 or 7 sets too many for what they'd like. Light missed tackles about the same, and ironically they've made more line breaks than the Ipswich Jets, and that showed probably in the last 10 minutes there, I think, Dave, when they started to get a bit of cohesion going.
Yeah, they looked threatening, didn't they, Gavin? That's the sort of side they are, isn't it? I mean, if they get a half a chance, I don't think they'll play as badly in the second half. That's the big thing.
That's exactly right. We remember them a few weeks ago. They didn't play bad against in that first half. The second half they come out and just about got away with that game.
All right, well, it's a sign of a good side when you're not playing well that you can pluck a try from nowhere, and that's exactly what happened. Around about the 15th minute mark, Redcliffe really hadn't had too much of the game going for them. This time the high ball by Roberts. He wasn't even interested initially to follow his own kick, and then he thought, well, look, for some reason Ipswich aren't even bothered trying to take it either. Big Adam Starr, the knockdown, pops it up there to Aaron Barber. Have a look at this for pace. Little grubber kick, out and around, actually ran out of the field to play, to loop around, didn't worry about a straight line to the ball. He was just had the confidence to get there and backed his pace.
Yeah, look, their kicking game to this point in time had been very poor. Roberts was probably the main culprit. He's very disappointed in that kick. He decides the ball's in the air, anything can happen, and it can. Ipswich decide they don't want anything to do with it. Starr says, I'll play a bit of handball, I'll bat it out to my old mate on the wing here, and see what he can do. And what he does, he pops it on the outside, and then probably gives Allwood about 5 or 6 metres start and beats him to the football before the dead ball line. Brilliant football.
Yeah, he might have a bit of a sore shoulder, but it didn't worry him. He certainly was on the spot, Aaron Barber. Here's the high kick from Roberts. You can see him sort of drop his head there for a moment. Then he looks up and says, well, no one's going to have a go at this. I might just get in the road myself. Big star, bats it over the top. Almost like, what do they call him, a ruckman or something in AFL. And then Aaron Barber, he's a wingman. And as quick as they come, he does well to get around the outside. And that got a bonus try there for Redcliffe. As we say, they really hadn't done too much at that stage. And he's pretty happy, and why shouldn't he be, Aaron Barber? They failed to convert that particular try, 6-4, so they would have been wrapped in that scoreline, having not played too well up until then. They got an opportunity to get a penalty from right in front late in the first half. They took that. Rather dubious decision, I thought, Gav. The knockdown by Hamilton, you wouldn't have been at a particularly good angle, but it was a bonus 2 points for Redcliffe.
Well, Hamilton wasn't particularly keen on the decision, neither, we might add, as we saw during the course of the game. And those critical decisions by referees and touch judges can make all the difference in the final wash-up.
They sure can. Sagan intercepts with only seconds to go up to half-time. Redcliffe, they were the ones thinking, well, we've got a chance to score here. Perry was the one who let one go in Luke Scott. Fires the pass up there to Lease. Lease decided there wasn't a gap for him, so he put it outside to a 3-on-1 situation. And unfortunately for him, he found the one man in the green jersey to go length of the field, and that's Michael Jack.
Yeah, just on that wide shot we had before, you saw Allwood backing up. Jack wasn't backing up. He was going forward. He had his eyes only for the football. He scooped it up and he ran away. Interestingly enough, Dave, this came a couple of sets earlier when Redcliffe had that attacking opportunity. They put the kick in for Barber when the pass might have been on. How quickly the game changes.
Does swap around pretty quickly. Redcliffe also had plenty of chances when they put those grubbers into the in-goal area on a number of occasions. They couldn't get results. The defence has been good. Two things, I think, in the second half. Redcliffe will play a lot better. Ipswich with the breeze. I think it'll go to the wire.
Arch enemies come in all shapes and sizes. They're from all walks of life, and they emerge from places you least expect them.
There's been great fights about it.
Deadly Rivals, a new 4-part series that unmasks the constructs of competition.
While other people are dreaming about how to make money, I'm dreaming about knocking people out.
I'm going to be trying to wreck her.
It's nothing personal. Deadly Rivals, 8 o'clock Tuesday.
New from ABC Audio, a superb selection of book readings as diverse as they are fascinating.
She had covered over 200 kilometres in just over a day and a half through enemy lines.
Cleopatra became for me the cornerstone of my career.
First, they would have to walk east until they reached the rabbit-proof fence.
And John Eales walks forward, accepts the World Cup.
Biographies of extraordinary Australians on ABC Audio, from ABC shops, centres, retailers and online.
Join Australia's most trusted journalists as they bring you A Year to the Day, September 11, from 7:30 on Wednesday night.
Welcome back to Dolphin Oval, the Redcliffe Leagues Club behind the posts. The major semi-final underway here, and Ipswich leading Redcliffe 12 points to 6. Great to see so many kids out on the field at half-time, kicking a ball around, having a game of touch footy, enjoying themselves, and likewise the crowd on the hill in the sunshine. The breeze certainly are blowing down the ground, but it's quite a pleasant breeze, and those clouds which threaten some rain have gone away. The elimination semi-final in the Queensland Cup is underway as we speak, or just about to kick off at Langlands Park. That's East Coast Tigers versus the Northern Suburb Devils. The loser will be knocked out of the race for the premiership. So what a vital game that is. What an exciting game that would be over at the Langlands Park. If you're anywhere near Langlands Park, as soon as you watch the full-time whistle go here from Dolphin Oval on ABC television, duck down to Langlands Park, because that's going to be a great game. In the Premier Rugby, it's semi-final time as well, and tomorrow afternoon on ABC television, live at 3 o'clock, the knockout semi-final between Jeeps and West. That's live tomorrow at 3 o'clock on ABC television. And we also will be bringing you, after this match this afternoon, the State League Netball Final Series starting today on ABC television following this Queensland Cup. The semi-finals of the State Netball League, 2 semi-finals at a 3:45, from a 4:45 this afternoon. The Dick Tosser Turner Hill, the great Dick Turner, administrator and I guess great favourite of the Redcliffe fans.
Oh yes, did some great work for Redcliffe. Sean Berrigan there enjoying an afternoon watching his brother play this afternoon for Redcliffe, and of course his brother Barry going to join the Broncos next year, the Redcliffe hooker.
So the second half is underway. Ricky Bird puts it out towards the touchline. That's out on the full because Barber put his foot over the sideline, took it on the full, and that is a poor start from Ipswich.
Well, it's unbelievable. Just the thing you don't want. Redcliffe did the same in the first half, and this wind is very tricky.
Well, it makes such a difference. They could be hammering Redcliffe close to their own line. Instead, they're going to have to defend from their own 20 in a moment or two, once we see another couple of hit-ups from Redcliffe. Instead, no, they go a little wider on the second. Out to Laird. Roberts in behind. Berrigan goes to dummy half. Gives it to Perry. Perry gets Wynyard running off him on that left-hand side. But they're stretching out to the right, the Dolphins, ready for the big play. A couple of their big men out there as well, in and around the backs. Perry turns it inside, and the first of the Giants, Tronk, takes the tackle. Now Perry, Roberts is outside him, plenty of runners, slips it to one of them and almost threading his way through. Luke Scott. Now Jellick goes from dummy half, he's over. Too easy, capitalising on the Jets' mistake from the kickoff. And what a good start to the second half for Redcliffe. They've turned the first half start around.
Yeah, they certainly have. They got the break they wanted, the poor kickoff from Ipswich, and then strong driving run there from Jellick to push out from the dummy half position, blast through a narrow gap. Grasping hands were never going to stop him. It needed to be at least a shoulder, and he picked the gap nicely there to dive across. He's a strong player, Jellick. Played for New Zealand only last year, and he's been a great acquisition for the Dolphins this year.
Yeah, righty. I got Neil Wharton down here on the sideline with me. Neil, the ideal start for the second half, but I don't think you'd have been too happy with the first.
Yeah, that's an understatement, Gavin, isn't it? They just, you know, I mean, we had a good preparation for the week and everyone was confident, but they certainly respected this side. They have found themselves in this position, Ipswich, because they're a good football side. But yeah, we forced the pass a little bit, didn't we? Mate, you made a few errors coming out of your end, a bit to do with the fast-moving Ipswich defence. Well, I just think that you know, that was a credit to them, but you know, I think we just tried to rush ourselves a little bit, and we sort of concentrate on the execution of what we're doing, and the execution was pretty poor. Some of your more senior players as well, with those errors that you're causing, were resulting. So the kicking game tended to be a little bit worse than when you got to the kicking game, I guess. Well, we didn't have the ball much, too. You know, in the first 9 possessions, we dropped it 5 times. So, you know, we had to do a fair bit of tackling, and they're a big side, and they were moving the ball around pretty well. It was a credit to our guys that they hung on, but you know, disappointing that they're making it so hard for themselves. Yeah, we just see there as Jellick just gets over from the sideline after Luke Scott almost got there. Neil, look, in this second half, obviously you're looking to improve. What's the thing you're looking for the most? Well, we just got to stay to the game plan. I think, you know, the worst thing that happened in the football side is 4 or 5 players try and play their own game, and you know, they're all trying to do something to change the tide of the game. We've just got to stay to our plan and stay calm and relaxed, and if we make the right attitude calls, we'll get the game control. Thanks for joining us, mate. All the best. Thank you very much.
Neil Wharton, the Redcliffe coach, and a perfect start to the second half. Redcliffe have levelled it up at 12-all. Damien Richter's converting the try by Jellick. Redcliffe in possession, just outside their own 30. And away goes Shilvok. Well tackled by Dogue. Roberts goes to the line and almost through. Passes away now to Tronk. Tronk shows good speed for a big man. Unloads now. Jellick is there. Kicks for the winger. Will it hold up? No. Why didn't he pass it?
Don't ask me, Warren. Dear, oh dear. Jellick through. Great work it was by, I think, Roberts initially to Tronk. The big man did well too to hold the defender off. Gave Jellick the chance and he immediately kicked. Aaron Barber was probably lagging a bit, but he only needs a half a second to go from lag to lead.
Let's go down to the Ipswich coach, Gary Grinke, with Gavin.
Yeah, Gary's thanking his lucky stars there as there was a bit of an overlap. Gary had a good, hard-moving, fast, hard-hitting defence in that first half. Very pleased with that.
Yeah, definitely, and we know how well Redcliffe can defend you early in the tackle count. They get up nice and hard, their first three guys, and we've handled it pretty good as well.
Up until that last intercept try, for all the possession and domination you had, you didn't have much to show?
Yeah, I was fairly happy with our first half, and saying that, we defended our line for quite a period as well. I'm fairly pleased with how things are going.
Not too much happened in the first half. Early on, though, you had a couple of inside ball opportunities. Looking to pursue there again?
Yeah, absolutely. The old lazy boys on hot days inside, and Redcliffe have used the same sort of tactics in the first half as well.
And not the ideal start to the second half, Gary.
No, definitely not. We've got to make sure that our heads are on now and communication's positive. I'm confident we can go on and do the job.
All the best, mate. Thanks very much for joining us and good luck.
Thank you.
Gary Grinke there, the Ipswich coach, pretty happy with the first half and hoping they can go on with the job. Interesting incident a moment ago where Ipswich were inclined to play on and gallop over for a try. Everybody else was standing watching and wondering what the referee's interpretation was.
He finally ruled that Ipswich had actually knocked the ball forward when the high ball went up, but I tell you what, there wasn't a great deal in it.
All right, here's Perry back inside, and Tronk gets it away. Berrigan has to fall on it.
Big man Tronk starting to show how dangerous he is. That's a knock-on.
It's a lapse in concentration from Wynyard. Don't know whether he knocked it on or did it go back, but either way, it's a very poor piece of football. Yeah, just dragged it forward, hit the deck and then bounced back.
You're really making it hard for yourself. They've hit back extremely well, the Dolphins, but you've really got to control the football. Otherwise, you just keep giving your opposition a better and better chance.
Lindsay takes off, has a go himself. Well tackled by Jellick. Jack.
Ipswich forward pack there just stayed exactly in the same place. Not one of them decided to wrap, not one of them, so they just all stayed here, ready perhaps to put a bit of a charge on up the middle here for another play.
Lindsay looks back on the inside now as he had Danny Coburn coming off his left shoulder, didn't use him. Matthew getting it away to McCarthy.
Hamilton lurking on the right here.
On the fifth tackle, Bird puts it up for the corner. Here they come, up high and challenging for the ball. Good leap from Farron Anderson. Didn't quite come down with it.
No, he needed to try and get some level of control, either batting it back inside because he's the man who's got a touch on it. Just floated over his shoulder. And Redcliffe now with a chance to work their way out of their danger zone. Dolphins now, there's the big man in Shane Tronk. That knee, as Warren said, heavily strapped. He missed the Burley game, I think, for the same reason. Nice pass there to Stagg. The defence was just as accommodating. Berrigan down a blind side, up there to lay it, but there's no gaps in that blind side. Jamie Matthew up to Roberts, to Perry. Luke's got the dummy runner up to Lease. Lease goes, oh, I thought he was through. Beautiful sliding defence there by Lindsay, assisted by Thurkell. Back on the inside to Barber, the twinkle toes, pops it up to Jellick. Fifth and last. Very little chip over. Has it gone over the defensive line? No, he just didn't get it to go far enough. And Jamie Matthew is in a bit of trouble, having taken that ball.
Take it across.
The ref's going to make somebody else play it.
Oh, no.
Matthew's decided he might be able to play it himself.
Shane Perry involved in the play a couple of times in the last few moments, looking dangerous. A former Rothmans medal winner, and on Tuesday night the Brisbane Rugby League clubs will nominate their best player of the year. Here's Ricky Bird.
Michael Jack got that pass away there. He was crunched by Wynyard and Tronk, but seemed to somehow still stand and pop the ball out the back.
Hamilton steps off his left, hit by Wynyard, slipped it away brilliantly to Bulow. Somehow, despite the impact of the tackle, Hamilton still managed to pass. Still a hand in there from Shilvot, no penalty. And a kick on the 5th, maybe too deep. It's out on the full. It's more than deep, it's out.
Yeah, that's not good. The 2 kicks they put in recently, that one from Hamilton, the other one that went off Farron Anderson are going to touch. It's all these little things that can be costly, and Redcliffe good enough to capitalise.
You don't see that often. Layers going sideways. Usually he goes straight ahead. Tronk unloads to Berrigan.
You just see players getting a little bit tighter in defence now. There's big impact in the defence. They're not knocking the ball runner off their feet on every occasion.
Tronk's going to have a rest. He's leaving the field as Perry dances in and amongst the fringe of the ruck forwards. Kerry Furcock makes the tackle. Roberts, a little step characteristic of him, goes to the line, steps off his left, tries to herd a couple of the forwards in to open up space a little wider. Perry, Wynyard, hands it up nicely to David Stagg. Not quite able to crack them. 5th tackle now. Call finally came from Perry. Up high it goes. This will test them at fullback. And it's been dropped. It's been lost. Reggie Cressbrook back there now. And he wasn't able to take it.
Yeah, the wind just having the balls just sail away from him. He got in there and the breeze at his back. Didn't read it. He's fresh to the game. It's not easy to just come in and pick up the pace. And this is a great chance now for the Dolphins.
There's no ball yet, man.
Only 10 metres out. The perfect place to attack from. Scrum up to Perry. Centres together. Turns Richter's back on the inside. Sliding defence will just get him. Perry drops in a dummy half. But Berrigan looped to the left. He throws the dummy. Perry drops back to fire it out on the right-hand side. Stagg pops up there to lay. Spins out at 1. They had a 2-on-1 further out, but they couldn't get it there. Stagg at dummy half. To Perry, to Troy Lindsay. Had to settle it because it was untidy. They're hanging on, Ipswich. Berrigan up to Roberts. Oh, and the pass has gone quickly to Wynyard, but he's put it on the deck. And... well, it's not a nightmare, but there's some bad dreams continuing now for Redcliffe.
Perfect position, and they've blown it. Wynyard making the second error in a couple of minutes here. Maybe the pass was a little hard and a fraction lower than he wanted, but
down together so we're not repacking.
He'd like to have it again
this time.
So the Jets survive. Can they clear it away from their own end? Cressbrook plays it.
They need to use their kicking game to do it, I think.
And out wide, Marshall Chalk, who was playing at fullback. Now he has moved into the centres by the look of it with Cressbrook at fullback. Possession, 50% apiece now. Hasn't that evened up from earlier in the game? Dogue takes the tackle just short of halfway. Lindsay, Matthew. Lindsay calls for it on the left. Puts the kick into the corner. Least leaving it for his winger. Barber will have to go back, but neither of them need to worry.
Another bad kick from Ipswich, or they're just not getting the results thereafter. One's gone out on the full, one went off a hand across the touching goal, and that one there just too deep. And Redcliffe with another chance to work their way out of their danger zone. Oh, nice pass there up to Shilbot. Berrigan just held the marker in. Good quick tap again by...
Here. Not over there. Here.
Well, it's a bit pedantic, but anyway.
Penalty against Seabold inside the 10 metres.
Might turn out better for Redcliffe anyway.
Perry finds touch just inside the Jets' half. Here comes Lindsay. They line him up. Good tackle from Bulow. The centre, he's quite strongly built, Bulow. Can make a good tackle. Layeth thought about passing. Led with the hip. Roberts. Perry. Scott. 25 out. Perry. Roberts. They're the two receivers. As he lost it, just held on. Nearly popped out. Richters. Back on the inside to Fluggy. Berrigan, a long ball to Roberts. Perry again. Picks up Lease. Good defence by Ipswich, holding their position, not getting themselves out of alignment. Perry, long ball for Barber, tried to kick ahead. It's still on the last tackle. And now an awkward kick across, safely taken by Brian McCarthy. The Jets have survived.
Yeah, mate.
High tackle.
10 metres.
No, he's in front of the kicker there, I think, Dave. Just Redcliffe don't appear to be going forward. There's no one really attacking the line, putting the defence under any pressure. You know, they're happy to pass side to side to side to side. Just on that last play there, Perry took it forward a bit, put a little bit of pressure on, and give half an opportunity for Barber on the outside for a little kick. But they're just not taking the ball forward and attacking that defensive line of the Ipswich Jets at the moment.
The score, 12 all. And we've got just over 25 minutes to go.
McAllister to the 30, come down a blind side. They use the blind better than most sides, Ipswich, although they haven't had too many opportunities to exploit it today. McCarthy to play it, up there to Seabold. He's had a bit of bench time, Seabold, so should be reasonably fresh. Dogan, here's their blindside play again, Ricky Bird. Nice little wraparound play to Reggie Cresbrook, but again, the Redcliffe defence, just let them play their games and then wait for the ball carrier to come at them. Farron Anderson dances around, fifth and last. Now a kick that needs to get a positive result. Bird, this will be a better result for them, I would think, as Barber drops back into the in-goal area. So that's the best result they've got so far. Barber is going to be put back in the in-goal. Oh, he's going to fire it up to Trent Lease. Oh, visions of State of Origin, and he's got it out of the field of play, out of the in-goal area. Well done in the end. I tell you what, Neil Wharton, put your pacemaker back into gear. Have a look at this. Aaron Barber thrown around.
You're a genius when it works, but taking some risks, almighty risks. Look, that pass taken above the head by Lease and somehow gets out. Now, a high tackle.
That's going to call out Jamie Matthew.
We'll wait till he's all right, then we'll sort it out.
That's a left. Well, it's
Stay
high,
here.
all right.
Stay here. Don't walk away with it in the air.
Just ducked at the last moment into it.
Ducked after he got hit too.
If he got the arm and it sits somewhere around the high, it's got to be a penalty. I'm going to place this on report because he did stay down injured. You just keep your tackles down.
And Matthew on report, so he'll hold his breath next week no matter what.
Of course, the winner goes through to the grand final. If that's Ipswich and a player gets suspended, he'll miss the grand final.
What a horror feeling that would be.
That applies to both teams today. So here's Troy Lindsay taking it up for the Dolphins. They're spread right across the field. Roberts. Layeff hit and hit hard. What a good tackle that was from McAllister. Kerry has two decoys. Lees quickly hands it on, but Richter's running out of room. Kerry and Roberts, they just alternate, don't they? Kerry's turn to call the shots, and Jellick tries to bust away from one or two. They hold on to him. Kerrigan on the last tackle now for the Dolphins. Perry runs it to the line, stabs through, and Cresbrook covers it well. Never really looked as if Perry was creating an opportunity with that kick.
They've been frustrated somewhat by some very good Ipswich defence. At the start of the year, I looked at the Ipswich side and saw plenty of attacking potential. Beautiful little flick pass up to Michael Jack. One to beat in Lease. He's got defence coming from behind as well. Trent Lease, beautiful tackle. It's at least the second really good one-on-one tackle Lease has had to make today. Ricky Bird's going to run himself. The step didn't work for him though. It was a good tackle. Up to Anthony Seabold, dummies on the inside, fires it up there to Bulow. Bulow breaks through, almost up to the 10, fifth tackle. They move it on the left there, a good chance. McCarthy, Cresbrook, up to Bird. Still chances on the outside, they're going to kick it. And, oh, they had a chance to take it, but couldn't. And Redcliffe again come up with the crumbs. Well, it seemed to me they didn't seem to really attack the football, Ipswich. They stood up for a while.
They had the numbers, Marshall Chalk and also Michael Jack are there. They both have a look at it here. And it's come forward off Michael Jack and the Dolphins, despite being outnumbered, come away with the ball.
Michael Jack looked to me like he didn't even have his hands up to try and catch that ball. It almost like he was trying to block the receiver.
Here's Berrigan, long ball to Richter's.
Okay, let him go for
Just in that last passage, a couple of really good efforts made by Grant Floggy. He made 2 good tackles. We also saw him racing up on the kicker on the previous set. He's doing a lot of the hard work in there.
Nice work this from Redcliffe as they keep the ball alive to Jellick. Jellick pops it out the back to Perry. Perry's got nowhere to go. Tell you who has had a good game is Matt Dogue. He's the number 9 for Ipswich. Oh, it was touched. So Cresbrook will comfortably take it. Now this game's a real arm wrestle at the moment. 12-all major semi-final and almost three-quarter time. And I presume we have another drinks break around about that stage.
That's going to knock the momentum out of things.
Ipswich got the benefit of it in the first half when they stopped after a kick at the in goal.
Bulow goes to dummy half. The Jets striving to get the upper hand. Callister can't stand and deliver. 3 men put him on the deck. Bird comes from left to right, but instead they go left to Lindsay. Coming from behind is Chalk. Quite deep, Marshall Chalk at that time. 35 out. And up it goes on the last. It goes across field, directly across field. Well, Ipswich don't want to go for it. Someone's got to go for it. Reggie Cresbrook will get another kick at it. A better place kick, but is it too long? It doesn't stand up. It goes dead.
Well, Gav, what would you give them out of 10 for their kicking game in the second half?
Yeah, Ipswich or Redcliffe, both of them aren't quite very as good as each other, aren't they? They're taking most lessons of each other. Looks like they're just going to pull up for the drink break here now at the that 20-minute mark or thereabouts in this second half. Look, I just think that it's going to take a little bit of individual brilliance from someone. I don't think Ricky Bird's fit. I'll put that on the line. I don't think he's fit, and he's certainly not showing the spark that he usually does. I don't think he's taken off once at all today. I think Redcliffe have got to get the ball in the hands of Trent Lees. He looks sharp every time he comes into that back line play. I think he can gap him and get away. And I think that Reggie Cresbrook, fresh on the field, he's got that ability as well. So it's going to be up to one of the game breakers. Hamilton's on the sideline, I think, at the moment, just having a spell for a few minutes after that earlier incident. And they need to get him back on to get some more attacking options in that Ipswich side.
Pretty well summed up, I reckon. There's going to be a need for a bit of spark. It's developed into an arm wrestle. I was saying earlier that when I looked at Ipswich at the start of the year, and I can remember we did them in the 4th game of the year, and that stage they only won 1 out of their first 3. You remember saying you only win 1 out of the first 4, you can be in trouble. Well, they did win that 4th game. They had a 2 from 4, and they've really gone on from there. It was always going to be their defence was a question mark for mine, and they certainly have tidied that up. And Gary Grinke, with the pattern he's got operating, has got to be a big plus.
As the interchanges, Redcliffe have used 8, Ipswich 7. Both teams seem to be settling into their game and not making as many errors now, but neither has been able to click into top gear either. Redcliffe have made the more errors, haven't they? 11 errors through the game. Ipswich's 4. Plenty of them coming in the first half from Redcliffe. Layak almost went through. Now Roberts takes on the forwards, and I wouldn't rule out Michael Roberts as the man who can make the break that decides the game. Berrigan gets it away. Big tackle comes in on Danny Burke. Berrigan starting to scurry more and more as the game goes on.
Numbers.
Terry has runners. Stagg to play it.
Still numbers on the right. They come the other way, though.
Puts it up high. Here's a test.
Good
Whose
luck.
ball is it? Anybody's ball. And Ipswich have got it. Not really committed to taking it, anyone, but they've come up with it.
They're very lucky there. They didn't seem to really contest it, and managed to pick up the crumbs on the ground.
The kick was well away from the fullback Cresbrook, but the centres and wingers didn't really want to know about it.
Got a good dummy half running play too. Ipswich, they fire the pass out here nicely. They're just starting to get a few gaps on the edge. I think that was Chalk, who's playing now left centre. Hamilton just ankle tapped. He'll be able to get up and run again. Hamilton, there's Dogue. Oh, Hamilton dummied him. Dogue was pointing. He wanted he had a gap there, but it was closing, so Hamilton did the right thing to hold it up. Ricky Bird should keep it going as well. Up there to Michael Jack. Oh, almost intercept there. Oh, beautiful work from Seabold. Up again to Ricky Bird. Dummy back on the inside. Another kick. Well, they certainly like to kick when they get in open spaces, both these sides. And I don't think it was last tackle by any means.
It was actually the last tackle, so they had to do something at the end of that. But it wasn't quite the result they wanted. Now Danny Burke goes upfield for the Dolphins. Roberts Probes away with Jellick. Jellick a handful, but they've managed to knock him over most of the time. Roberts ducks into a tackle this time. Don't know if he really wanted it that occasion. Fifth tackle. Terry running it. Now puts the kick in the direction of Cressbrook. No pressure at all on Reggie Cressbrook. Just the defensive line moving downfield towards him. Hamilton gets the pass to Bulow. McAllister pops it out to Bird. Seabold to play it. Oh, Bulow hit hard. Seabold goes to dummy half. Bird. Short defensive line from Redcliffe. Lindsay goes to the edge of it, finds a runner, puts it through. Chalk chasing through. Jack is there as well. Michael Jack. Jack for the line. He's there. Michael Jack. Oh, lost it. Lost it. Was tucked under his wing and he lost it.
I tell you what, Michael Jack, he lost concentration as well. He thought he was in. Aaron Barber came across. Jack had thought he was home and hosed. And all of a sudden, Aaron Barber on the spot, and he lost it cold for sure. Well, Michael Jack, what were you thinking? Major semi-final, you don't leave anything to chance. Magnificent play down that left-hand side. Again, the little grubber kick when you get the break. There was Marshall Chalk. Have a look at this for a pickup from Jack. He was feeling pretty good at this stage. Cut away from Trent Lease. Looked around and was surprised when he looked back over his left shoulder to see little Aaron Barber. What a great effort from Barber to save the day there. But I'll tell you what, Michael Jack will be having nightmares on that one.
Aaron Barber has scored one try and just saved one. Michael Jack has scored one try and just bombed one. Absolutely bombed it. I think, as you say, though, maybe when he swerved away from Lease, he thought he was home and hosed because he wasn't even going flat out. He suddenly saw Barber coming, tried to accelerate, but didn't cover up the ball. Here's a problem, Brendan Lindsay.
That'd be a big problem for him. He is almost the key to this side.
Give me away, Bren, when you're ready.
Kicking game,
back on, man.
when it's at its best, is very handy. He's hobbling back. Hopefully he'll be okay either for this week or for 2 weeks' time.
No, mate. No, he dropped
that. Should say for next week or for 2 weeks' time. The winner of this game goes through to the grand final.
Stay on.
East and North are battling away at Langlands Park to decide who's going to come through to next week's preliminary final. Here it's 12 all, and time ticking away.
Go forward! Go forward, that's a good call. Just get over that advantage line and roll them.
Berrigan does it the easy way, offloads to Scott. Luke Scott down third. Look at him go, Luke Scott. And finally, just knocked over. They came at him late, 20 metres out. Oh, what was happening there?
Aaron Barber tried the grubber kick, and Seabold ricocheted off his bootlaces, and he caught it on the full.
Barber trying to kick through on the third tackle.
It's worked for him before. Looks like both sides are really prone to put a little kick in.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that was smart play at all by Barber. He had 3 more tackles up his sleeve. It certainly didn't work for him anyway. He may have thought, okay, that there's no fullback behind and was going to back himself. But the 3 tackles up his sleeve and the defence on the run, keep it in control. Lindsay.
Good tackle it is.
Bird.
Oh, he's down too.
Wasn't hit around the head, but was knocked off his feet after he kicked. Adam Neal says it's okay. Trent Lease runs it back. Well tackled by Matt Doak. Silva.
Oh, he's lost it.
And Ipswich have got it.
This could be it.
Here's Ricky Bird tackled. Oh, he made a bit of an act of it. Certainly made contact. Didn't hurt him. But Ipswich, who's going to be the team to take this game by the throat? Who's going to score the try that might break this deadlock?
Was that played at? Or was it played at? Oh, surely that was knocked back.
First one here. Knock on.
Well, it didn't look like a knock on from here.
Time out. Andrew Hamilton, bring yourself out.
Anthony Seabold is the player.
Hamilton's going to get a lecture. Seabold was the one who...
No, just listen. Like we said in the dressing room, Andrew, come here. Ask the question if you like. Don't yell at me. Ask if the question, but don't yell at me. I'm not going to listen if you're going to yell. Back here, we've got a scrum. It's a knock on.
Good call.
He never played it, Anthony.
The frustration was, did Redcliffe play at the ball? And
heads are in.
I wasn't so sure Seabold even knocked it on anyway. He was going backwards and had to dive back for the ball.
So the Dolphins have it once more. Play being played either side of the halfway. Not too many chances down inside opposition 20s in the last 10 minutes. Richter, I should say, Alea. Roberts. Perry. Scott. A lot of talk between the referee and a few of the Jets players. Adam Neal getting angry with the back chat. Berrigan. Roberts. The Jets defence continues to hold. It's a 5th tackle. Perry. Up it goes. Cressbrook comes forward. Plenty of players underneath. Well taken, Reggie.
Well, that's more like it. We've had plenty of high balls today, but not too many of them taken as positively as what Reggie Cressbrook did there.
Gavin, you've got to say that it's a tribute to the defence of both teams, the reliance on the kick, whether it be short or the bomb.
Yeah, look, they're both really still hitting hard. I mean, I'm down here on the sideline as you guys are up there. They're really still putting plenty into each and every one of these tackles. Some of the errors are starting to be caused by those tough tackles that are going on. But look, it is a credit to both sides. They're the best two defensive sides, as David said early in the call. And it's going to go right down to the wire. I hope young Jack is not ruining that drop ball later on this evening.
Oh, well, Phil Silvok, and he lashes out after his mistake. He's opened the door to the Jets here, 10 metres out.
Silvok might have been the one who dropped the ball earlier in a tackle too, and well, at the end of the day, it can be errors that decide these matches. It's been a real arm wrestle, a battle out here, just what we expect of a major semi-final.
What Ipswich need here is a very good set, and if they can't score within the 6, and they've got a real opportunity to do that, they've got to end up with a dropout coming back at them, or a field goal. It's still a long way out, 13 minutes to go.
A bit early for the field goal at this stage.
But I tell you what, David, there's a bit of desperation out there from these two teams. I wouldn't be surprised if they snatched for the field goal early.
Let's just see what happens from this scrum too, Warren. This is a great chance for Ipswich to put on their play right here and now. They've got Cressbrook as first receiver. Now they're going to use a little blindside play. Hamilton steps out of the base of the scrum. Third up to Seabold. There's Cressbrook. Good rushing defence there from Roberts. Good big gaps on the far side. There's 15 metres outside Aaron Barber. They turn it back in the middle. Up the middle goes Danny McAllister. Barber's still got 20 metres on his right-hand side. If they can hold that defence, they're going to come right. I can't believe it. Up there to Hamilton. Cut down Hamilton. Seabold. Matthew, there's the long pass. Not a good one, though. Picked up there by Brian McCarthy. Back there, went past. Was it touched? Unbelievable. Penalty offside for a little knock on and picked up in front of him. Oh, they've got stage fright, Ipswich.
Yeah, look, they've taken the tap, Redcliffe. They've decided not to go for distance. I don't know why you would do that on your own 20, but may work for Berrigan. Out it goes to Lease. He's up to the halfway. Another penalty.
Yeah, turning him over. Trent Lease has been dangerous. This is the chance now for Redcliffe. They've got penalties 8-4. It's been a bit of a game of your turn, my turn. Well, now it's the Dolphins.
Come back.
Well, a moment ago, Ipswich had a golden opportunity. Now it's Redcliffe. 18 metres out. Burke takes it to the 10. Tackled by Seabold. Again, they stretch to the right. Roberts, long ball to Perry. Perry, plenty of options out wide, but Gilligan's buried. McCarthy made the tackle. Lease. 5 metres out. Roberts inside. No way through for Adam Stark. Fifth tackle. Pressure building here. Perry chips into the in-goal area. It's covered up, but it'll be a dropout. Marshall Chalk is there, and now some punches.
Walk away.
It has been at boiling point. this match, and I guess there's so much hanging off at 12 all, 10 to go. The slightest thing can spark it.
Time out.
The replay, nice kick that from Perry. Just an awkward kick that was covered pretty well there from Marshall Chalk.
Yeah, no worries.
And Barber came through with a, I guess, an unnecessary shove, but there was nothing in it really.
Well, lucky he missed, because otherwise he might have been in trouble. The pressure building on the two teams. They've put in so much effort. Neither team has played their best football today. There has been, they've just been off their game a little in a lot of aspects. Too many simple errors as well. But they're no doubting the effort they've put in. I think that's leading to the frustration. They're frustrated with the opposition. They're frustrated with themselves. It's 12 all and there's 9.5 minutes to go. The dropout from Ricky Bird. Perry takes it. One of the best players on the field, Perry. Gives it to Layev. Given some room before they embed the defence. Starr. Adam Starr up the middle he goes. Roberts goes to the right. Berrigan runs left. He's on his own. Roberts wanted it on the right. Didn't get the call. Now Perry hunting for the hole, and Burke is halfway through it. He's there. Danny Burke's over. Danny Burke's got the try. Adam Neal, the referee, awards it, and Redcliffe hit the front 16 to 12.
What a great quick play the ball it was that allowed Redcliffe to keep that roll on, and Perry tantalisingly went to the line, had plenty of players on the move. That was a good quick play the ball up to Perry, who calls all the shots, probably the best buy of the season. Into the gap goes Danny Burke, and he reaches out only just to ground it. Marshall Chalk did everything possible to try and stop him getting the ball across the try line, and almost did. And the elation of the Redcliffe players wanting to be first into the grand final to play on their home turf in 2 weeks' time. And Danny Burke, who was a Broncos Colt, and still certainly not out of the sights of NRL scouts. He plays a very, very tough and busy game. And this is a very important kick, of course. 6-point lead would mean that if Ipswich can pull off their own little miracle and tie it up, well, they could force it to extra time and a golden point. So Richter's will want to at least ensure Redcliffe that level of security. They wouldn't want to be waltzing with a only a 4-point lead going into the last 7 or 8 minutes.
They kept that pressure on them with that dropout, forced the dropout from the Perry kick, and then came back at them again. Here's Richter's. No, it's blown off again. We've got a different synthetic mound out there, but the wind has once again blown it off. Kicking tee. You can't give a side like Redcliffe too many chances in your 20. Eventually they'll take one, and in the end, I suppose, camped inside the 20 after the dropout, they just got to the line, really, rather than cracked it wide open with Danny Burke.
Right into the breeze.
The wind is quite strong, and Richter puts it to the right, upright, and it blows away. So Ipswich still within 4 at 16-12.
Yeah, it could well be the try to get Redcliffe to their 6th grand final. It was 2 quick back-to-back play the balls. The first one, Berrigan got away and just got collared. Then he got a quick play the ball. Perry just shops across. They were drifting out. There was too many runners there. No one nominated up. They didn't know who. Elation on Danny Burke's face as he scores the try. He's hoping that it's good enough. There's plenty of time to go, though.
Oh, penalty. Ipswich players in front of the kicker. Well, that's a big penalty to pull out. I hope it was a blatant. Let's have a look. Are they well in front of the kicker? Yes.
Yeah, that is just so tardy. I mean, you're tired at that stage. Fatigue is setting in. You're wandering forward. And instead, Redcliffe now with another. Well, he's well over the mark too. But anyway, we'll give him a little bit of latitude there. Redcliffe in front for the first time in the match. Big Adam Starr. Let's see if the most successful side this year can grind out a win from here. Russell Layev up to the try scorer, Danny Burke. Ipswich realise they've got to go with Redcliffe here now. Perry Nice pass out there to Lease, out to Jellick. Gee, Michael Jack's come in nicely a couple of times to pick up that second man play. He's left Barber on his own, but will take the man with the ball. Perry up to Roberts, back on the inside to Starr. The defence there welcomes him. Dogue was one of them. Dummy half Berrigan up there to Roberts. Berrigan's had a great game, the number 9. 5th tackle. Up there to Perry. In goal play will do them. And it'll be picked up by Ipswich. So here's their chance in possession. Still got plenty of time to go. 5 minutes is not panic stations by any means. And there's only 4 points in it. Don't play slow, play fast. Up there to Seabold.
That was a great pick-up from the kick by Matt Dogue, the hooker.
He's had an excellent game, Dogue. The 2 number 9s have played well. McCarthy works it up the field. Strong Anderson. Good strong run by Chris Anderson. Good pick, play the ball too. The markers are still down. Allows Dogue to run out of there. Looks for support, finds it in Jack. Jack can't get the pass away to Chalk. 5th and last. High ball, put the pressure on. But get to the kick. You've got to get to it. They're going to run it up to Hamilton. Hamilton uses his strength to shrug out of the tackle. Little chip over the top. Will put some pressure on. Trent Lease. Tackle has to be made. Can't be. Up to Lease. Jack Scanari beats Jack as well. What a fantastic run from Trent Lease. That could win the game for them. And the crowd acclaim him accordingly.
Yeah, the crowd up and cheering Trent Lease. What a run. He could have been trapped here twice. It was a great kick by Hamilton. First of all, 2 of them come at him and he got away.
2 speedsters. The 2 wingers couldn't get him.
Yeah, Jack and Farron Anderson, neither could get to him. But the penalty now has gone to Redcliffe back on the 40.
Well, Berrigan wanted to run out of there. 10 penalties to 4 to Redcliffe.
Yeah, the Jets inside the 10 this time.
Well, only 3.5 minutes to go. Ipswich might get one more play at them, depending if Redcliffe are generous. Oh, they are generous! You can't get any more generous than that! Unbelievable! It was into the wind, but dear oh dear. McAllister up to Seabold, the rushing defence shuts him down. Well, they might get 2 plays. You only need one though, the big one, Hamilton. Bulow looks around, looked tempted down a blind side. Up there to Anderson. Chris Anderson, that is. Dogue to Bird. Not going hard. Up there to McAllister. He'll go hard. 5th and last. Do you run it? Bird. He's going to go straight for the kick. Aaron, no, it'll be up to Trent Lease. And again, oh, what a game he's had. What a game he's had. A couple of classic tackles at the back, one-on-one that had to be made. And that one that got out of the in-goal area. And then again, rock solid at the back.
A kick with the wind drifting a little too far forward. Michael Jack was coming through at a rate of knots, but he simply couldn't get there to jump for the ball. Here goes Aaron Barber. Drops it out. Oh, look, fair dinkum. Whoever makes the grand final is going to go a lot better than they do today, because neither of these teams has been anywhere near what you'd expect of them, I believe. They've put in the effort. They've worked overtime, but the clumsiness at times, I think they can both go right back to the drawing board and eradicate these errors. They'll be a lot better for it. Haven't seen the best of them today.
The error there was the pass, I think. Aaron Barber, Redcliffe are in front. You don't need to put that pass up to Reggie Cressbrook. Up there to Marshall Chalk.
Still not over. Redcliffe lead by 4. 2 minutes to go. The Jets need a converted try and they'll be into the grand final. Bird just has the one runner. Slips it away through the hands of Seabold. It goes. Dogue again. Cressbrook flings a long pass out. Here's a chance. McCarthy is still alive. It's come off Redcliffe. Was it knocked on by Redcliffe?
Got to have been. Got to have been by Aaron Barber.
But that was try time. The knock-on has saved a try.
Aaron Barber almost had it too. We had an intercept in the first half to Michael Jack, and Barber nearly got that one. But it's still on.
Behave yourselves, eh? Fast scrum.
Roberts, is it? Is it Roberts down? Well, you'd almost think that Ipswich can score from this. I know it's a big call with 60 seconds to go, but there'll be some big plays.
And David, over at Langlands Park, East Coast Tigers are leading Norths 12-6 just before half-time in the knockout semi. Meantime, 1 minute remains here to decide who'll go through to the grand final.
You can ill afford a groggy halfback in this situation either. Roberts would want to have his wits about him.
Stay behind the lock, Mick.
So the Jets still looking
Don't
for
play it. Let it come in first.
the late converted try to snatch victory.
Let him in.
Or do we
Let
go
him in.
to
Get it in.
extra
Go.
time? The golden point. Ricky Bird. Ricky Bird drops it out the back. Chalk has it.
Come back, come back.
Presbrook. Not really going anywhere. We've got numbers on the left. Hamilton comes right. Oh, there it is! It's a try! It's a try for Farron Anderson! Farron Anderson scores for the Jets. Kick to come to win the match. Or is it a draw, and will we go to extra time?
What a pass by the skipper. There were some great gaps on the left-hand side. This side plays blindside better than any other side in the comp, and this man lives there. Andrew Hamilton fires it up there to Farron Anderson. A saloon passage, and now the pressure kick. And poor old Redcliffe. They lost a grand final last year on this ground against Toowoomba with a kick after the bell.
There's the siren, David.
Oh, no. Could it be again? Will we have extra time with a golden point, and that is first point scorer wins? Or can Ricky Bird, in a tricky breeze? Well, if anyone can do it in the breeze, it's a man called Bird. Can he snatch it?
You remember at the beginning of the game, Ricky Bird kicked a conversion from the sideline. It was a superb kick. Later, he missed a penalty kick from right in front, 20 metres out.
He did too. Look at this for vision by Hamilton.
What do you think, Gavin?
Yeah, look, just a bad read there by Phil Schilbach. He had no reason to come in. He had his inside C centre there sitting on Bulow, I think it was, in Richter's, and he came in, he bit to the pass, and Hamilton's good enough and clever enough to see that. He's seen it a million times, and he got it right onto Anderson's chest for his second try of the afternoon. Just a poor read.
I wouldn't mind betting that the crowd aren't sure what will happen if it's a draw at full time. So they're probably all waiting and wondering, is Ricky Bird going to convert this try?
Mentally, how do you feel, the Redcliffe boys? If this misses, they know they got to go again and go hard. But their fears are, is he going to knock it over? He's got to start it out on the left-hand side of these uprights, I reckon. Breeze coming from the left.
Here goes Ricky Bird. It's on target. Is it going to come with the wind? Hits the upright, bounces back into the field of play. No goal. It's a draw. It's extra time.
And now they both got to come together and toss a coin, would you believe? The two captains have got to come together, toss a coin to decide who wants to take the win.
Exactly, and with the win, shoot for a field goal.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting the coin. Luke?
Well, they've got to get a coin first of all.
Toss the coin now, all right? Whoever wins the toss gets to, like we did, choose the ends, and the loser kicks off, okay? No worries.
Well,
you get bonus footy
a
here.
game.
It's sudden death. Whoever scores first.
Sudden death. Whoever scores first. I need a coin.
You get bonus footy today on ABC television.
Here comes a coin.
Stay tuned, folks.
Well, what a remarkable piece of football to pinch the draw at least. Right at the end there, Hamilton,
Luke,
with that pass.
Same as the other half. You'll toss it for me.
This
Andrew,
will keep going until we get...
Tails never fails. Heads, which way do you want to run? You guys kick off.
Surprise, surprise. He's going to take the breeze.
Luke Scott, the Redcliffe captain, takes the wind.
And therefore, Ipswich will kick off.
I'll tell you what, that kick from Ricky Bird, you would have thought with the wind that was through. It looked a perfect kick. And I will say Richter's put the kick earlier in the game in the same position, and it didn't take the wind either.
Almost identical. And then Ricky Bird, he hits the upright. Just incredible. Now, what a game. We might add a couple of errors, but I tell you what, this has been one fantastic game of football. It's been a contest between the two best sides in the comp. And I tell you what, it's a huge advantage. The loser will live to fight another day, but neither side wants to do that.
Stay on side.
They want to go straight into the grand final.
When you're ready, Rex.
Stay on sides, says the ref.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, please.
Don't put it out on the full either.
Ricky Bird gets us underway in extra time here in the major semi-final. Who'll go through to the grand final? Troy Lindsay wants to. Look at him come back.
Interchanges will be interesting, Warren. There's no extra interchanges. You can only use the ones you've still got left.
Which wouldn't be very many at all. So Berrigan at dummy half. Star gets close to the halfway. Just how close will they want to go before they go for a field goal? Perry decides to kick the distance. He miskicks straight down the throat of Chalk.
Well, that is just unbelievable tactics. They cruised up to the halfway in two. Another two tackles. They're in range for a field goal.
Shane Perry has kicked 3 field goals this year.
Tell you what, you don't want to be defensive if you're playing golden points.
So the Jets, they've got the harder task into the wind. They might have to score a try rather than kick the field goal.
Do they change ends after 10 minutes?
No, you just keep going, David. You keep on going, which is a bit tough, but that's the rules, and both teams knew it. In fact, yeah, well, that's the business. So here's Chalk, has a go himself. Last tackle, 35 metres out. Ricky Bird might back himself. He will. It's nowhere near the post. More chance of going over the sideline, taken by Shilbach.
Well, it's not a bad option. If he was going to do a chip kick, he probably would have put it there.
Can you see any easy way out of this game for either side? Here's Lees. Downfield. Comes to Chalk. Good tackle, Marshall Chalk. But Lees has got it the halfway in one. They just have to control possession here now. Berrigan isn't going to panic. He's cool and calm. Scott gives it to Perry. Perry to Roberts. Keep it near centre field. They're 35 out. 35 metres out. Berrigan turns it back inside. They weren't really expecting it there. Managed to hold on to it. Grant Fluggy keeps it alive too. Now it's the big man as Tromp. He's only 15 metres out in front of the post. Go for it now. Fifth tackle. Shane Perry stabs for the field goal.
Got it.
It's there. It's there. Redcliffe have won the major semi. The Dolphins are through to the grand final. It's heads down for the Jets. But Redcliffe did it better in extra time.
Well, it was a toss-up.
Anyway.
Well, they did. There is a football god because Redcliffe were robbed here last year. They've got it into the grand final. I tell you what, I couldn't hardly pick it between Lees and Perry, but with that final field goal, I'm still going to go with Trent Lees because he was the one who made the bust to get him up there. What a game he had.
Incredible game of football as it turned out. The major semi won by Redcliffe, 17-16 over the Ipswich Jets in extra time. The try scorers there. Well, you've got a quick look at them. But we'll have to leave Dolphin Oval very shortly. There it is. There's the summary of the try scorers for Redcliffe. Barber, Jellick and Burke. 2 goals to Richters. The field goal to Perry for Ipswich. 2 to Anderson and 1 to Jack. And Bird kicked 2 goals. Both teams would like to have that game over again. But not so much Redcliffe, I guess. They're through to the grand final in 2 weeks' time. And now Ipswich will wait to meet the winner of the East-North clash in the preliminary final. We'll have that next week. The preliminary final here on ABC television, 2 o'clock next Saturday.